Death and the Penguin by Andrey Kurkov. Beneath every surface, inside every tree, every person, lurked an invisible, alien something. The seeming reality of everything was only a relic of childhood. This deep familiarity is at the heart of Death and the Penguin. It is not a book about aliens or body snatchers, but rather one of absurdist noir. Set in the Ukraine after the collapse of the Soviet Union, a kind of ending of civilization for the natives of Kiev, everything becomes strange. And when doors no longer function as before, even if you change the locks, then insecurity becomes the norm. It is no way to live. One endures, survives, or not. Chance is everywhere. For instance, the zoo, ridding itself of animals it can no longer afford to feed, is the accidental source of Victor's penguin. They set up home together in a city that has become hostile to both penguin and human alike. But there is kindness still, if you can find it. Or at the very least, pay for it. Presented with the kind of deadpan humour not seen since the days of Buster Keaton. I remember him. This modern fable tracks the extraordinary relationship between one failing writer, Victor, and his companion, a penguin called Misha. They share a loneliness together powerful enough to warp reality. Unable to gain recognition as a novelist, the empathy. Victor takes a job writing obituaries for a dubious but widely read newspaper. His new boss, the chief, instructs Victor to prepare many obelisks, as they trivially call these obituaries, for important people whose one commonality is that they are still alive. The job proves to be lucrative. Misha the penguin has fish aplenty, and Victor gains a certain wealth and, unbeknownst to him, a growing reputation. It turns out that, as a writer, he has gained his niche. He even enjoys the work, taken to obituary writing like a penguin to water. One day, he is invited to write an obelisk or two for an associate of the chief for extra cash. The associate also happens to be called Misha, so Victor calls him Misha non-penguin, though not to his face. In discussion, Victor expresses his frustration that all of his hard work has gone unnoticed. Not a single one of his subjects has had so much as a cold. Upon hearing this, Misha non-penguin assures Victor the situation will surely change. And change it certainly does. Soon after this, Victor's first obelisk subject falls from a window. He just happened to be cleaning, in the dark, at an apartment where he did not live. The obelisk is published in 500,000 newspapers, though, wisely, only under a pen name, A Group of Friends. From here on in, the world goes to excrement. Ever-escalating gangland executions of public officials, military brass and politicians of all shades keeps Victor fully occupied with obelisks demanded both day and night. Eventually, Misha non-penguin has to go into hiding, leaving Victor to look after his 6-year-old daughter Sonia on pain of death. Sonia, coincidentally, is described as being the same height as the penguin. Victor hires a nanny, Nina, the niece of his only friend Sergei the militiaman. Nina moves in and Misha non-penguin never returns. In this way, a pseudo-family consisting of Victor, Nina, Sonia and Misha emerges. After a chance sighting of both writer and penguin during their attendance at the funeral of Stepan the penguinologist, Victor and Misha become de rigueur at mafia burials. The two of them in much demand as funerals become much more widespread among the newly rich mafiosi. Together, the two of them add a touch of class, Victor is given to understand, and soon enough their attendance is mandatory. Of course, this raises Victor's public profile at a time when public figures have a shortened life expectancy. The pseudonym "a group of friends" may no longer be protection enough. Things are brought to a head when Misha the penguin apparently becomes fatally ill. Victor is informed that only a heart transplant can save him, and that further, only the heart of a child will do. Dark indeed. Victor does what he has learned to do. He hands the problem over to his hidden benefactors and hopes for the best. He also, using his own financial resources, arranges for Misha to be liberated to Antarctica should he survive. Kiev being no place for a penguin, he finally admits. To make matters worse, the obelisk work dries up. The chief seemingly has no further need of him, so even the comfort of work is removed. More serious still, Victor learns of another writer who is preparing an obelisk. Its subject, none other than Viktor Alexeyevich Zolotaryov. The story ends with, well, you really should read it yourself. But one question mark to think about as you do this. Victor and Misha, man and penguin. Or, maybe, in Pullman-esque style, person and avatar. If so, which is which? Death and the Penguin by Andrey Kurkov. Another La Bibliocat kind of book. Highly recommended.